Hi everybody, Arthur with Dasha AI here. I've got some news for you. We have integrated Dasha with Zapier, which means that you can now integrate Dasha with the over 4,000 apps API services that are available on Zapier already. It's an awesome thing. I've been playing around with it. There are just so many workflows that one can do. I literally went through it and created like, I don't know, a dozen templates yesterday. So we're still in the beta phase on Zapier, which literally the only thing it means is we've got a little beta sign right next to it, but the full functionality of Dasha is available there. So today I want to show you how you can create an app, an integrated app, or take an existing Dasha app and integrate it with some services on Zapier. The use case I'll illustrate this on is pretty close to home for me because, like I mentioned before, I used to work in sales, and the use case is inbound lead qualification. So what that is if you've got a website and you've got a form like contact us or get back to me contact sales form, and you have someone fill that out, and that person becomes a lead, and that lead is interested to learn something, find something out about your product or your service. And so what they do, they fill out the form and they wait for you to get back to them. Most companies will email them right away automatically, which is great, but not really, because everyone else does that. And if you've got a potential customer, they may be looking at your competitors as well. The other thing you could do is you could have a salesperson call this potential customer back. Again, that's probably going to take some time, and every 5 minutes you lose is less likelihood of closing the deal with this potential customer. At least that's what very smart people say. So what we do instead is we set Dasha up to call the inbound lead automatically. And the automatic call will be activated through a Zapier integration with Hubspot. So pretty straightforward stuff. Create a form in Hubspot, uh, build out that first step in Zapier, which says when the form is filled out, take this data from the form, phone number and first name, and call this person with the Dasha app, collect some information from them, and write that data back to Hubspot, to the contacts card, the lead card. So first thing we will do is go to Zapier and create a new Zap. All right, so the trigger is the event that starts your Zap. In our case, this trigger will be Hubspot. There it is, Hubspot. And the event is new form submission. Okay, that's what starts the Zap. Continue. So it's going to ask us to log into the Hubspot account now. I've got one account tied here. Just a second. I think that's the one I need. Yep, that's the account I need. If you didn't have an account, a Hubspot account tied to this, you would just log in here using OAuth. And then you set up a trigger. You need to choose a form. So in this account, this is sort of my test account on a HubSpot. I don't really have any forms right now. Give me just a second. I'm going to make this a little bigger for you to watch. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. I don't have any forms, so I need to create a form. I go to Marketing, Forms, create a free form as a standalone page, and I'll start with a blank template. I need first name, I need last name, I need a phone number, and I need the email. I'm going to make all of these required. And I call it Zapier test form. So let's take a look at the preview. That works for me. Update and publish the form. And we just need the link. And you should save this link in a notepad. That's what I'm doing. Saved it. So let's just check this form out. There it is. No, there it isn't. There it is. There we go. That's our form. And we can fill it out. Thanks for submitting the form, it tells me. All right. So we've got the form now. Let's pick it in Zapier. No, that's not the one. Let's refresh the page. And there's our Zapier test form. All right, continue. Now it's going to ask us to test the trigger. Let's do it. Test the trigger. It's going to pull up the latest data. There it is, that we used in the form. Continue. So once we've got the form submitted, we go ahead and initiate a call in Dasha with the data submitted in the form. Let's do this again. Need a different telephone number. Test the trigger. There we go. Perfect. So with Dasha now, we need to choose an action event. In our case, we will want to make a call. Make a phone call. Continue. And choose an account. To choose an account, you will need to sign into Dasha. And to do that, you will need to have your API key at the ready. So let me show you how that is done if you've used Dasha before. And so 1 second. Let me make this a little smaller. Make this a little bigger. There we go. All right, so Dasha runs, and Dasha, or your Dasha coding environment is essentially Visual Studio Code, but you install the Dasha Studio extension, which gives you all the syntax highlighting, etc., that makes your job a lot easier in building with Dasha. So if you've never used Dasha before, once you've got this VSCode and latest Node.js installed, you will want to run the command. Well, how about this? I'll just put in the video descriptions a link to an article that will tell you how to get started with Dasha. But if you have used Dasha previously, what you will want to do to get your API key is to run the command dasha account info. And that will tell you the server and the API key, which you can use here. Okay, perfect. So let's just you can't see it, but there's a little window that popped up from Zapier, and it's asking me to input my credentials to access my Dasha account. It's asking for the server and it's asking for the API key. Okay, done. Signed in to Dasha. Continue. I'm actually surprised to see that you can see everything that's happening in Zapier even with the window so minimal. So what we are doing now, before you see what it's asking you to do is to choose an application to use and to choose a SIP trunk to use. So in order for that, and you need to kind of activate the app um, in your terminal, or activate the app in your Visual Studio Code. And what you will need to do is, first of all, go to the Dasha GitHub repository and download the inbound lead qualification app, or clone it directly in your in your VS Code. I've done that already. Once it's cloned, you can run npm install, and once it's installed, you can run npm start chat, for example, or npm start phone number, which will give us a call from this app. It's gonna take a second the first time it does this, because it's probably going to train the neural network with the data that's provided here in data.json. Again, I've got a tutorial for how I built this particular app, so I will post that in the video description as well. And here is Dasha calling me now. Yes, hello? Bye. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, and I'll give you the demo later, don't worry about it. We'll do the demo once we've got the entire integration built out. Perfect. So we've run the app once, which means we can now see it in action in Zapier, right where we need it to be. Okay. So SIP trunk to use. We're going to pick the default SIP trunk provided by Dasha AI. Application to use, inbound leads. You can see I run a lot of different applications on my Dasha account. I'm picking inbound leads, that's the name of the application. And application to use number 2. This is probably a little mislabeled, but essentially this is the version of the application that we want to use. And the version we want to use is the one up top. So that's the version is the latest application that you ran from your terminal without making any changes to it. All right, so see, we've got two fields pop up, name and phone. These are input variables in the Dasha code. Let me show you. All right, so we'll scroll up here in main.dsl. This is the Dasha script file. You see we've got two input variables, phone and name. The phone is the phone number, the name is the first name by which Dasha addresses the customer, the user. So the name we get from the form first name, field first name, and the phone number we get from the form as well, phone number. Right, so continue. And the action we take is we make a call with Dasha, and we can click test and continue. I'm going to get a call, not going to pick it up. The data that's returned here is sort of filler data, and that's okay. That's fine. So next step, once we make the call in Dasha, and so we made the call with Dasha, what happened on that call? Well, we collected some data. As you can see here, we had output variables software, output variables invoices, lead source, and call time day. What does that mean? Well, essentially in the conversation, Dasha asked the user, the customer, hey, are you using any invoicing software now? How many invoices per month do you issue? How did you find out about us? And what time can you take a call? And we're saving all of this data. And then we can write all of this data back to Hubspot to the particular leads contact card. And we will do exactly that right now. In order for us to write something to HubSpot, we will need to know the contact object ID, which we don't know now. But we can find it by searching for the contact using the contact's email address, which is something that we can do. So let's set that up in Zapier. We will use a single search property, contact information email. There it is. And for that property, we will use the data collected in the form, Arthur at dasha.ai in this case. Okay, perfect. And that will return for us, that will return a, there it is, HS HubSpot object ID. And that's exactly what we need. Test and continue. All right, perfect. So final step, we need to write the collected data to HubSpot. Before we can do that, we need to create these fields, these properties, as HubSpot calls them, in HubSpot. So we go to settings, data management properties, and we create a property. So contact property grouped in contact information, and we'll label it do you already use invoicing software? Field type is single line text. Let's create that. And the second property is how many invoices do you issue per month? So again, this is just the legend, the invoicing software that we're selling. How did you find out about us? And it's single line text as well. And finally, all time. All right. That should be good. We can do one more thing. We can go ahead and go into contacts, open a contact, view all properties. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make these properties show up on the lead card, right on the lead card. Add to your view, invoices. Add to your view, find out. How did you find out about us? Add to your view, call time, add to your view. There we go. So once we get this data updated, we'll be able to see it right here on the lead card. So final step, HubSpot again. What we're doing now is we're updating contact information in HubSpot. This is our account. Object ID. Remember in the last step we collected the object ID. There it is. That's required for us to identify the contact, to write to them. Then with the make a call with Dasha, we've got the call time day output. We write that to contact information call time. And we're gonna have to find, there we go. Do you already use invoicing software? Again, we insert data from the second step, output, software. There we go. How did you find out about us? Make a call with Dasha, output, lead source. How many invoices do you issue per month? Make a call with Dasha, output, invoices. And that's it. That's all. Those are all the fields that we're updating. So let's go ahead and save this. Test and continue. And let's turn on the Zap. Very good. Now it's time to test. Getting to the fun part. Okay, so we go to our form, refresh the page, and the moment of truth is upon us. I submitted the form and I should shortly get a call from Dasha. And there it goes. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Arthur. This is Dasha with Acme. Thank you so much for reaching out to us on our website. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Are you using any invoicing software already?
No, I'm not.
Thank you for that. Question 2. How many invoices per month do you generally issue?
About 10.
Thank you. And final question. How did you find out about us?
Google search.
Great. Thank you for your replies. Now, let's find a time to meet. When are you available for a 30-minute call this week?
How about Friday at 2?
Perfect. Let's confirm. You can take a call on Friday at 2, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. You'll have an invite later today. Thank you so much. We'll speak soon. Bye.
Right, so let's take a look. We should get the updated data in Hubspot already. We had the call, we submitted the form, we got the call, the data was collected by Dasha, and now it should be, there it is. Do you use invoicing software? Not using any now. How many invoices? 10. How did you find out about us? Google. And what time can you take the call? Friday at 2. Perfect. So there you go. This is just an example, obviously, of the type of integration that you can build using Dasha through Zapier. Obviously, you can apply everything you learn here today to build your own integrations, to build your own apps. Essentially, you can use Dasha as sort of a function here. So you input phone number, maybe name, maybe whatever else you want to input, and you output whatever data you collect on the call, which you can then use anywhere else within the 4,200 various integrations available on Zapier. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you in our community asking any questions that you have. The link to the community will be in the video description, as always. Thanks everybody for watching, and happy building. Bye.